Well, I want to welcome you to this series of lectures on the way of things. This particular lecture, actually this particular series of lectures, will be on optics. Basically how to use them and why you should use them, and their importance. For those of you who have seen some of the other lectures, this will be obvious to you that it will affect such things as the presence and awareness, and the feedback loop that we'll talk about in another part of this lecture on optics. It's a fascinating field, but one that's often overlooked by people that spend a lot of time in the wilderness. Either they tend to either know it or they don't know it, and it's just an alien world to them. It was for me for many years. I walked the desert without optics. And then when my eyes were opened, as it were, I realized much of what was there to see I was not seeing, and of course much of what was there to learn I was not learning. Optics are not really a difficult mechanism as far as the modern world to understand and to use. However, there seems to be kind of a resistance. I've given lectures like this to other people and really didn't see any results, and part of the reason is optics, I think, cost a fair amount of money sometimes, and when somebody first uses them they don't seem to get this abundance and overwhelming amount of knowledge right away. And so they don't have a way to appreciate what's really possible. It's kind of like offering a superhero suit that will give the wearer superpowers, but you're asking money for it and nobody believes you that it will give them superpowers. But in fact, optics will give you superpowers. The amount of awareness and knowledge that you gain from that is really phenomenal. It can give you 5 and 10 times the experience in the field in any one given day. And it's just incredible. And you'll begin to learn the natural knowledge for your mind from the ultimate masters, from the coyote, from the bighorn sheep and the deer, and even the jackrabbit and the chipmunk, which sometimes we don't appreciate much as having much natural wisdom to give to us, but in fact they really do, and especially when you are able to observe them in an undisturbed manner, in a manner that they're behaving in their normal way. Either they're unaware of you or they're aware of you and you're at such a distance that they discount you as far as what they're doing. And so again, if you want to learn from the ultimate masters of survival or just living or beauty or what have you, optics are one of the things you really need. And even people that would think that maybe they don't need optics, say like somebody in botany, if you're into flowers or certain types of trees and plants, you'll find that indeed you can often find particular small plants at a distance, or you can gauge their health at a distance that you couldn't otherwise, or even pick out which species it is exactly. And so somebody that's interested in botany would do well. And even geology, again, is something that people wouldn't think that a proper set of optics would be of much value. But I would say, give it some consideration, and you'll probably find that sometimes you'll be able to look off at a distance and say, well, this vein of rock that I'm standing on has a little piece of just above ground, but that's 1.5 miles away, and give you some appreciation for the geological structure that you wouldn't otherwise have. And so a large, wide range of interests can be enriched with the use of optics. And in this lecture series, I'm going to try to show how to use them and to give you an appreciation for their use. And with that, that ends this particular lecture, and there will be this one and 5 more in the series under the title of Optics. And with that, I thank you very much.